know how to communicate. We now know how to negotiate, win people over. We even know we can do win-win or no deal. And it doesn't mean you're any less. It's actually a possible outcome. So now we're going to talk about running for office. So I'll welcome Cynthia to please come and do that session.
Okay, so in this session, we were preparing girls to run for public office. Public offices, we understand it, could be government. But so few of us will end up in government, so we have to think of fields or teach girls about the fields in the community where we can run for public office. So we, for example, have students who want to be a prefect, or we have university graduates waiting for interviews or being on the SRC and that. So that is what we prepare them for. So this session then prepares us how to present ourselves when we go out. Women represent 51% of the population, and that is huge. So we should always remember that we will be treated differently to men. So we need to help girls, help mentees, that's how we do it, because we live in a very sexist society. Men are treated differently. We're told they are strong, we are told we are weak, we are treated as sexual objects and that. And this is what girls face in school, university, families and that. How do we teach them to overcome that? The one important thing is to remind young girls, women, to not change who you are. Remain true to yourself and don't adapt to what people want you to become. And don't be all things to all people, because it's impossible to be all things to people. Be yourself. Be confident and be well-versed. So being well-versed, we go back to Patience's communication and what Rita was saying about communication and that. So to be well-versed, what is it that we have to do? How do we communicate? So the video that is presented in this session is a beautiful video by Professor Steve Jarding from Harvard. And he says that we have 21 different facial expressions on our face. And I think my daughter will say, I've got all 21. 64,
more than.
Yes. So we have the voice, we have the face, we have the hands. And in my personal example, a few weeks ago, I don't like red wine. So my husband was telling me to taste red wine. And he's saying, it's so smooth and that. And I'm thinking, okay, it's smooth. So I taste it, but immediately my face changes. But I'm saying to him, oh, it's so smooth. And she says to me, well, tell your face it's smooth. So that is facial expression. So your face can't, body language is important. You stand like this, and you are being defensive. So you need to know, because people realize what it is you say without you even talking. You communicate with your body. So that is what we take them through. Gesturing, for example. So in the video, the professor teaches us when you gesture, you're not out there. You work between your head and your belly button. So your hands live here, as the youngsters say. Your hands live here. So that is your voice, hands, and that. And then appearance. So you now go for an interview, or you go for whatever position. What is it that you look like? How do you look? When you go and you want to become a fashion designer, it's fine. You can have outrageous hair, your makeup can be weird and that. When you want to be a consultant in McKinsey, you can't look like a fashion design student. You have to look the part. So that is the one thing we also teach them. A survey or a study was done in Australia where they got men or a man to wear exactly the same suit, the same shirt, the same tie, and the same shoes for 1 year. No one noticed it. But because it's a man, no one noticed it. But if we do it, it will be noticed immediately. So the other important point that was raised in this is don't let your clothes arrive before you. So your communication and what you're going to be saying, that should arrive before you. Don't let your perfume leave people with a headache. So yes, you have to smell good. People should remember your perfume, perhaps because you smell good, but not because you left them with a headache. And then again with dressing. The one thing I always remember that was told to me a long time ago about appropriate dressing. If you see Venus or Serena Williams on the tennis court, it's a short dress, underwear is showing. But if you go to a mall and you look that way, it's completely inappropriate. So we should know where to wear what. I think Rita was saying earlier on that know your audience. I was just thinking about it when she was talking, like the ANC when they had their party now in Kimberley. They had a cake that was 127,000 rand. So it was this vile opulence in a sea of poverty. You know, so know who you're dealing with. I think you were saying that don't intimidate people with how you dress. Know where you're going to. People in Kimberley are poor. You have 127,000 rand cake. So if you're going to be dealing with people that are poor, for lack of a better word, don't come dressed in Armani and Gucci and that. Dress down so that people are comfortable all around you. What else? Your perfume, your makeup. And then there was another survey done, and people were asked what it is that they remembered of speakers. 55% of the people asked said that they connected with body language, hands, face, and voice that work together. At times when you watch newsreaders, especially, they'll say to you, a little boy fell down a tree and died. But they will be smiling saying that. You know, that doesn't work. And so many newsreaders do that. They will be telling you about death, but they have a smile on their face. And the opposite as well. If you say something that, a happy occasion, be happy. Let your body and your face and everything say that you were happy. And we touched on women that have been treated differently, being sexist, and being treated as sexual objects. When that happens, when men tell sexist jokes, call them out. We now are at the point with GBV, gender-based violence, where we have to call out people. We have to call out men in any situation, the workplace, home, be it your father, your husband. If they say inappropriate things, call them out immediately, because that's the only way we're going to stop all of this. Yeah, and I think that was what the session covered. And really it is that you can be the best being a female or woman. I heard the other day that people don't like the word female.
Female is an adjective, describes a noun. Women is the noun. So you can be a female pilot, but you are not a female.
Okay, I paid for that education. So honestly, to end it all, just be the best you are, know the situation, know your audience, and watch your body language.
In my group, we had one of the passionate environmentalists. She pulled up, she's like, no, this one is not interesting in this session because I don't like politics. I dislike politics, actually. I said to her, how are you going to change your environmental cause? How are you going to change all of us if you don't understand how to run for office? If we all think now Greta Thunberg today is one of the most influential people in the world, she has had to turn to it. So it's a very important session. And it's the trick is in how we explain it to the girls. Even you guys sitting here, I'm sure you've all left with something noteworthy, isn't it, from what Cynthia has said? Because running for office could be running for that very pivotal board position that will change things for women in that organization. It's not political, but it is political within that organization. So it's how you interpret it and how you convince them. And again, we don't have the luxury of waiting for someone else to change it for us. We must now go and change it, yeah? So I'm just warning you, it's one of those sessions that you'll get to and you might be having second thoughts. Don't worry, call someone else who has been there before it, and just remember and reflect on the points that Cynthia has said.